Oh my God. Oh my God. That is creative freedom if I've ever seen it. Holy moly.
That is unlimited. That is what like unlimited creative freedom looks like.
Wow.
David Ellison at Paramount must be watching this and just getting immense heartburn because he obviously wanted to give them creative freedom, but I don't know if he ever envisioned this.
South Park and Comedy Central, they're part of Paramount. They're now under more conservative ownership with David Ellison and his father, Larry, who's close with Donald Trump. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creative brilliance behind this show, they were interviewed recently in the New York Times, and they talked about how they were able to sort of get away with this, especially since there's so many questions over whether or not Paramount under Ellison is gonna, let's say, be a little softer on Trump, a little easier. And we're watching the two of them now in bed. I mean, they're having sex with each other, okay? Like,
I know when they started the season, I thought it seemed like they were touching the third rail almost when they were talking about Trump's penis size.
Yeah.
And now that almost looks tame. When they sense there's a taboo out there, when they sense there's a third rail, that just makes them want to touch it more. And knowing that Donald Trump is deemed off limits because of his, henchmen in the government over at the FCC threatening people for not being nice enough to Donald Trump, knowing that context, having that context, now all they want to do is push the envelope further and further and further. And they openly said this to the New York Times last week.
I do think, to David Ellison's credit, he is allowing the comedy and the needling of Donald Trump to still flow on Comedy Central. And maybe that's because you can sort of put that into the shoebox of, well, it's a comedy channel. That's what these guys do.
Or it's also a channel that Donald Trump does not watch, right? If this were happening on broadcast television, I think it'd be a totally different story. If Jon Stewart were on CBS late night, I think Donald Trump would be very triggered by that. If South Park were airing on CBS, if this aired on CBS, can you imagine what Donald Trump would do? I'm not really sure Donald Trump knows how to find Comedy Central on the dial.